for that matter, Damar Hamlin, the two of them. I mean, that was also shrouded in secrecy. How do people get to the truth, and what do they imagine they're doing by not telling the truth?
Well, I mean, look, as a journalist, and I'm not a practicing journalist as much as the people who write nowadays, but they are towing a line constantly with this COVID stuff. No one finds out the truth. No one's allowed to talk.
But first, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an upload from us. And with that being said, let's get straight into the video.
Jamie Foxx's daughter speaks on Jamie being paralyzed and blind. Jamie Foxx's daughter Corinne is speaking out on the disturbing reports that her dad was left paralyzed and blind after his recent medical complication.
Okay, I'm feeling confused. I'm feeling lost. I don't know where to start. I don't know how to finish things. Like, now I need a different form of help.
Shocking news reports are circulating about Jamie Foxx's health condition, claiming that the actor has lost his sight and is partially paralyzed following a suspected stroke. But that's not all. Jamie's condition was recently discussed on Ask Dr. Drew, and Dr. Drew's guest suggested that Jamie's severe complication could be related to the COVID vaccine.
Jamie had a blood clot in his brain after he got the shot. He did not want the shot, but the movie he was on, he was pressured to get it.
However, fans are now calling out Dr. Drew for peddling conspiracy theories and being disrespectful to Jamie's daughter and the rest of his family. Corinne is said to be very upset about these new reports, and she's now setting the record straight on Jamie's real condition. So what did Corinne say about Dr. Drew's comments? Did Jamie's medical emergency really leave him paralyzed and blind?
These irrational fears and thoughts and panic attacks and things like that.
It's been almost 2 months since Jamie Foxx was hospitalized in Atlanta following a mysterious medical complication. And over these past couple of months, we've heard so many conflicting reports on Jamie's health, starting with the very first update that was shared by Jamie's daughter, Corinne, less than 24 hours after his hospitalization. In a since-deleted Instagram post, Corinne shared that Jamie experienced a medical complication the day before and added, "Luckily, due to quick action and great care, he is already on his way to recovery." However, after a few weeks of constant media speculation, several outlets reported that Jamie's condition had worsened and that the family is preparing for the worst. But then, just days later, the story took yet another turn when Corinne decided to share another update on her Instagram story, claiming that Jamie has been out of the hospital for weeks and was already playing pickleball. Update from the family. "Sad to see how the media runs wild," Corinne wrote. "My dad has been out of the hospital for weeks, recuperating. In fact, he was playing pickleball yesterday." However, fans were confused by Corinne's statement because if Jamie really left the hospital weeks before and was feeling healthy enough to play pickleball, then why didn't the family say this right away instead of letting the tabloids run wild for weeks? Anyways, on May 15th, TMZ reported that Jamie was indeed released from the Atlanta hospital. However, he didn't return home and was instead transferred to a rehabilitation facility in Chicago that specializes in stroke recovery, among other things. For the following couple of weeks, there were zero updates on Jamie's health. However, Dr. Drew just reignited the conversation on his show while talking to a guest who claimed that Jamie was left paralyzed and blind. On Tuesday, May 30th, Dr. Drew hosted gossip columnist AJ Benza on his show, and Benza made a series of explosive claims about Jamie's condition, suggesting that Jamie developed a blood clot in his brain after receiving the COVID vaccine. Benza claimed that Corinne Foxx's statement about Jamie playing pickleball was completely false, and he also said the message shared on Jamie's Instagram didn't actually come from him.
Fox, it was all baloney what they were reporting. He's playing pickleball. He's responding on Instagram. No, he's not. People do that for you. It's all lies.
Benza also claimed that someone close to the situation told him that Jamie didn't want to get the COVID vaccine. However, he was allegedly pressured to do it so he could continue filming his movie Back in Action with Cameron Diaz. And according to Benza, Jamie developed a blood clot in his brain after receiving the shot.
I had somebody in the room who let me know that Jamie had a blood clot in his brain after he got the shot. He did not want the shot, but the movie he was on, he was pressured to get it. This movie he's doing with Cameron Diaz.
Benza also suggested that this could be the real reason why Jamie reportedly had a meltdown on the set of Back in Action shortly before his hospitalization.
And I'm thinking, is that why he blew up on the set a week before this medical emergency happened? Is that why he fired 3 or 4 people because he just had it with these mandates? I don't know.
Benza then went on to say that his insider source told him the blood clot left Jamie partially paralyzed and blind.
What I found out from the man in the room was that The blood clot in the brain caused him at that point to be partially paralyzed and blind. Because if you read into what they were saying early on, he's communicating with us. That doesn't mean talking. That could be anything. It could be, writing, sign. I know those little code words. And then when you tell me your father's playing pickleball, give me a break.
According to Benza, there's a massive effort to cover up the real situation because even TMZ stopped reporting on Jamie's condition after Corinne shared her Instagram post, claiming that Jamie is feeling healthy enough to play pickleball.
Even TMZ is not reporting this, and I know TMZ's got sources in hospitals who give them information, whether it's legal or not.
Dr. Drew then said that if this is true and Jamie really developed a blood clot in an artery leading to his brain, this would have devastating consequences, and it's very unlikely that Jamie would be able to play sports.
It's a stroke. It's a blood clot in an artery that cuts off the supply. That part of the brain is dead. And it has very serious consequences. It depends on which artery and what the anatomy of that artery is, to what parts of the brain, whatnot. But it is not something that, let's put it this way. Is he still in the hospital? Is that what I'm supposed to believe? And playing pickleball?
AJ Benza also said that Corinne's statement about Jamie being out of the hospital for weeks was baloney, because that's clearly not the case.
Oh, the daughters are doing the speaking for him. His oldest daughter, Corinne, is doing the speaking. She said he's been out of the hospital for weeks, but that's not true. He's at a very good hospital in Chicago who specializes in this kind of rehab.
Now, to be fair, it's possible that Corinne was referring to the fact that Jamie was released from the Atlanta hospital. However, her statement about him playing pickleball is definitely strange. Benza also pointed out how multiple celebs have asked fans to pray for Jamie, and if Jamie was really healthy enough to play pickleball, it's unlikely they'd be asking for prayers.
Every friend who comes out, whether it's Kevin Hart or Nick Cannon or whoever, all says pray for Jamie. He's got to get through this. Nobody comes out with great news. It's always somber.
Mind you, both Benza and Dr. Drew said it's possible that Jamie's condition was caused by post-COVID syndrome and not necessarily the vaccine. However, when Dr. Drew asked Benza why Jamie's situation is shrouded in so much mystery, much like Damar Hamlin's recent health scare, Benza said something's definitely off because no one's allowed to talk about this or ask any questions, and yet we're constantly being bombarded with updates about Jamie's health and being asked to keep him in our prayers.
And for that matter, Damar Hamlin, the two of them, that was also shrouded in secrecy. How do people get to the truth, and what do they imagine they're doing by not telling the truth?
Well, look, as a journalist, and I'm not a practicing journalist as much as the people who write nowadays, but they are towing a line constantly with this COVID stuff. No one finds out the truth. No one's allowed to talk about it.
But how did Corinne react to AJ Benza's claims about Jamie's condition? And is there any truth to these reports about Jamie being paralyzed and blind? Well, Corinne was spotted last week visiting Jamie at the Chicago Rehabilitation Center, together with other family members. So we know for sure that Jamie still hasn't been released. As for Benza's claims that Jamie lost his sight and is partially paralyzed, sources close to Corinne refused to confirm or deny this, and they only said that Corinne is upset about the media spreading narratives about her father's health. Corinne has also disabled comments on her Instagram, so it looks like she no longer wants to engage with fans asking questions about Jamie. Now, as for fans, they're pretty divided on the claims made by AJ Benza and Dr. Drew, and while some of them are accusing these two of spreading conspiracy theories, others are saying it's ridiculous that no one's allowed to question anything, while at the same time being told that Jamie is fine and playing pickleball. One fan tweeted, "Twitter should do a clean sweep and delete all of the accounts who are saying Jamie Foxx is now paralyzed and blind from a blood clot in his brain after receiving the COVID-19 vaccine." Who else agrees? And another Twitter user said, "I hope Jamie Foxx sues the F out of AJ Benza and Dr. Drew." However, others are saying Jamie's family can't expect the media and fans to stop speculating when it was Corinne who shared the first update as soon as Jamie was hospitalized and claimed he was recovering. "I think the main source of interest on the topic stems from his daughter volunteering his hospitalization to us in the first place," one fan said. "That alone made it seem very serious from the beginning, and now fans are reasonably concerned. None of this had to be publicized." And another person wrote, "So first Jamie Foxx was apparently playing pickleball. Now he's paralyzed and blind? I'm not listening to nobody, not even his family. Until we see his face, it is what it is." But how do you feel about all these strange theories on Jamie's condition? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to check out this next story.